share a high-definition enlargement and repair, the three basic modes currently. They are different. Currently, these three effects are the best. Okay, now let me show you the one that works best. What I am testing today is an extreme test. These three amplification repairs. This effect is the best. Driver just CCSR. It can handle all the noise well, then convert to HDCCSR. It has the same effect as just skin grinding. You can zoom into details. For example, this detail is like this. If you add the CCSR, it becomes 1 by 1. Here, I just lowered my step count. So it's like this. It's very fine if you erase it. This is just let you roughly understand the SUPIR+CCSR. HD zone. HD restoration plus a function of the CCSR. CCS can only be understood as the decomposition function, right? I am now giving some detailed notes here. An introduction to making this setup using. This way you can read this annotation when you forget how to use it. There are detailed notes. Then there are three. I will explain it all at once today. Its respective advantages, disadvantages, and functions. All three have their own effects, because you can't use this one all the time. That efficiency is too slow. And then I share. I have shared this on Joanna Cloud. Mirror image. Don't want to. If install, can open my mirror. If you can see this workflow, that means the platform has been updated to the latest version. This is an online mirror. Just click on my image. This is an online mirror. The placement is right here. HD repair SUPIR+CCSR. There is this workflow here. Click to open the online mirror. Ready to use. These models are already installed. There is no need to download and deploy, etc. If you want to install it locally, can open my notes. Choose this HD restoration, or you can directly search for the CCS to find it. Here are some locally deployed node installations. There are also some ways to deal with node conflicts. There are also running environment and so on. What you need to know about these local installations is this: a function of different models and some detailed models. Some models of this HD restoration. There is also one for each workflow, instructions for use, and the running speed. It is all here. This is to deal with noise. This is a blurry. Of course, my test is an extreme test. There are also workflow downloads. If you don't want to install it locally, you can. If the platform is not updated to the latest version, you can download it in my notes, then open my image and drag it in. The advantage is that I have already installed these models. You don't need to install. Other nodes and other nodes have been installed. The advantage is that it helps you install it. A lot of nodes. Then I will use the local one to demonstrate the different users and repairs of these three methods. Let's introduce the most common ones. First, the most common one is an enlargement of ultimate SD upscale. This is the most basic version of the zoom function. Its shortcoming is that it is not good at repairing it. It won't fix extreme noise like this, or extreme ambiguity. You can't fix HD repair, but it is enough for normal amplification. The advantage is that it can adopt all models. It is not limited to models. Then here we just build a new size setting. This control net uses tiles. Then fill in the relevant description yourself when prompted. Then increase the zoom. But it can't be restored in HD. It's just normal magnification. Okay, pay attention to the number of steps. The bigger it is, the longer it takes to wear out. This is just the slice. If your machine is good, you can slice it into larger slices. 1024 times 1024. This one is also sliced. It is equivalent to dividing a picture into. For example, here is divided into 512 times 512. Divide it into 38 pieces and render it like this. Segment it very finely for rendering. If your computer is good, you can divide it into larger pieces. Each block is 1024. The number of good divisions can be reduced or increased. But this is usually the default. What you should pay attention to is the above. A CFG of the model. The reference value to be set for this model. If this model uses other models, its reference value is 8. Then you should choose a CF value of 8. The higher the number of steps, the better the effect will naturally be. But this way it can't solve HD repair blur. It cannot solve this extreme noise and blur. It is only suitable for enlarging some ordinary picture sizes. For this enlarged model here, just choose the first and best one. This is for dealing with noise, but I tried. It can't handle this noise either. So this node is only suitable for ordinary high-definition amplification. But it can't repair extreme noise like this. Extreme blur cannot be repaired. Okay, let's talk about the second one. The second one is one from tile diffusion. HD restoration of this node. Its advantage is that it is faster than the following one, and it can properly repair the noise and blur. But its disadvantage is that the similarity between the repaired image and the original image is very different, so it is not suitable for repair. This kind of targeting human face, if the similarity requirement is high, this is not suitable. But for the scenery, animals, etc., this is okay, and the effect is very good, so it is suitable for landscape, and suitable for this kind of noise repair or blur repair. You can also take a look at the blur repair here. But there is no guarantee of similarity with the human face. So this is also a shortcoming of this node repair. Its advantage is that it is fast. Usually, it can be done in about 15 minutes. How to use is very simple. This way, I'm doing a separate knot here. This will make it faster. Don't use the VAE of this model. Then this is a reverse prompt, where I'm too lazy to run a description of this picture. Reverse is actually automatic. After receiving this is also a no one. Give it a size. Because I want to be fast, I will just use the 512 size. When zooming in, just choose the best one. We receive zoom. Submit it to this picture again. This node uses this graph to generate a graph, and then press this node. This node can restart the CFG alone. The CF value here has nothing to do with this model. It mainly controls the usage intensity of this node. Generally, the default value is 1, which is the strongest. If you lower, its repair strength is reduced. Here I have detailed instructions for using its parameters. The first one will work better. The second one works faster, so if you don't know how to use this, you can read my annotation. All I have now are comments. This is also the case. How similar is your image to the original image? You can adjust it here. If you don't understand, read the comments in detail. Just add one below. One of the control net, one of tile. Line drawing, not a line either. Just use the image for reference. This is the work content of the necessary node. That is, when using this node. There is also a VAE using its node. You can choose 512 or 1024 for the size here. It is also an amplified mode. In fact, The picture is divided into many small pieces and rendered one by one. Here you can choose 512 or 1024, depend on your computer configuration. The better the computer configuration, then you can just choose a higher level. Is this available or not? This is just a color match. Because there is noise here. The original image is a noise image. So if we receive this noise map as a reference, its color is too charming. So I just link this. In this case, it is usually used, but the noise situation, just this is not practical. If it is an ordinary repair, this is useful. It will. Because if you repair it, the color saturation will be very different from the original image. So by color fix, change the color of the original image. You can understand, if you copy this color mod, it won't look gray like this. In fact, one of its modes is also, you can refer to my note. There are very detailed instructions. I won't introduce this in detail. Here's a blurry fix. It is also a test of an extreme situation. For example, on this color matching will have an effect. It will be copied based on the color mode of the original image. It is compared to this. It will be a little more saturated. This one is a bit gray, so this is the role of a node in color matching. Of course, there are more advanced ones. That is, here, you can understand it using Photoshop. Understand it using Photoshop patterns. Can't match color images. There is also a curve adjustment, contrast matches. Then the color effect is also accurately matched. This way it can ensure that the colors are restored to the original image. Because, by amplifying, the image is generally blurry, or rather gray. So color matching is to restore it to the original image. Of course, it cannot pass this extreme test. Face similarity. The noise processing here is not good because it can't be solved. It's just that I lowered the number of steps. You can increase this number of steps. That's solve. So it can solve noise and blur. Compared with the bottom, it can't solve it. The previous enlargement, ultimate SD upscale, cannot resolve blur or noise. This style diffusion OK can solve noise and blur. Just this, no, but it doesn't solve the similarity. So here we are after the explosion. This SUPIR+CCSR. One of these two. This is a high-definition restoration. It has a targeted model. One is HD. The one starting with F is the fast version. The word starting with Q means the high definition. Then the model it uses can only use the image-enhanced model, not a raw graph model. This is mainly a high-definition restoration, such as noise repair, blur fix. Its advantage is that it can restore the similarities of characters. This is awesome. Then add the CCSR here. This can be added or not. Its function is only to polish the skin. It is also a dedicated model. Requires a dedicated model. I will introduce it in detail here. In fact, it is easier to repair blur, remove noise or color. Microdermabrasion, such as some clones, we don't need it to be restored very finely. All details are restored, so it can pass. It strips the details. Just make it like this. Beautify and then have the effect of microdermabrasion, so you can just think of it as a node for skin resurfacing. The difference between these two is one side. I'll post it here too. You have to make it look big. It is equal to if it is high definition. Reflect every bit of this. Smooth through it. Become very natural. It is. Achieve this effect. Just smooth. Of course, this node is available. Mainly introduced the SUPIR. This node, its advantage is that it can remove noise. You can also blur it. Face similarity can also be maintained. Of course, this prompt must be filled in, and the number of steps should not be too high. If it's too high, then because it's slow, but the effect is the best. There is a special setting here. This is the setting. How to understand this setting? That is, you can adjust it to 10 or 5. It will have a magical effect. That is, you can understand its repair strength. If you raise it, the strength of its repair will be closer to this prompt word. But its specific effects are random. Have I tried it before? Will I improve with you or not? If this is improved, the intensity of its change will be greater, so you can try this. It has a specialist effect. Generally speaking, 5 are mentioned, then it will be magical. Then here is also an extreme test of it. It's fast testing. For example, make this picture blurry, then restore it. It will restore it very close to the original image. This side just smoothed it out. Then this version also has a V2 version, just a faster version. This version has the best repair effect, but the speed is too slow, so it has a quick version. Just the one above. I think its advantages are stronger than the following. It's fast. Is its advantage, and it can be the same. Can fix noise. Extreme noise repair and blur repair. But the face similarity is not as good as the one below, because it is a fast version. Therefore, in terms of face similarity, it is not restored as perfectly as the bottom. Compared with this face similarity, it is much worse. This is basically 99%. The above is almost 4 times faster because of the fast version. It is much less similar to the original image. It can basically only restore 70% similarity. The ones at the bottom are awesome, can reach 90%. Then let me briefly introduce the raw graph model it uses. It is not an image enhancement model. Then here it is also enlarged through an image. Then control it, a size of the slice. You can slice this according to your computer hardware. For example, if the computer is good, I can control it 1 or 2. Remember these two are half. The bottom is half of the top. For example, if my computer is good, I set it to 1024. The bottom is 512, which is the ratio. Then like this. It's actually a matter of enlarging it piece by piece. HD restoration. This is just a preview for you. Same here, using the high definition restored model. It's the same as below. It's just that V2 uses this separate mode of connection and node usage. The functions are almost the same. Here, too, you can choose to define the size of the slices yourself. Because this is the effect of this first slice repair. This effect is slightly worse. Then use this to restore and resample in high definition. It was restored perfectly. Of course, I set the number of steps to the lowest because I want to pursue this speed. Sometimes, because I am a fast version, so I won't pursue this. Usually adjust it to 30 or 45. This is very high definition. But the shortcoming of this quick version is the similarity of faces can't be restored. But its advantage is that it is 4 times faster, much faster than the bottom one. The next one takes 30 minutes. It doesn't take 3 hours on an ordinary computer. The above only takes 15 minutes. The difference is more than 4 times. But the one above is faster. But the restoration of human faces is not possible. Similarity reduction, it can't do it. So the best thing is this technology. It can restore facial similarity, basically more than 90%. Similarly, I have recorded the detail usage in this node. The impact and role model selection on the image are also introduced in detail. All annotated here. Okay, let's go play.